code approvals that you have, and one of the big ones is WUI, Wildlife Urban Interface, right?
Yes, well that's the high fire zone. So for years and years and years, it was only the 1 hour, which burns from the bottom side, and the Class A.
Right.
All of a sudden, these fires happening more and more, so the state fire marshal put together and said, hey, you know what, we're going to do what we call a high fire zone test, which is the WUI, Wildland Urban Interface.
Right.
That makes it, it was a little bit confusing at the very beginning because we already had it covered from the top and the bottom, and they wanted an additional rating, which is the high fire zone. So Pli-Dek had to go out. I mean, we were on the first time we ever got kicked out of plant check in my life. I go, hey, you don't have a high fire zone test. I go, what the heck is that? Yeah. Nobody told us about it. So we ended up getting it like lickety split to make sure we had it for this big project out in LA, Los Angeles area. And they changed it from a 10-minute test. 2 years later, it went to a 30-minute burn test. So we had to go to Oklahoma to go take the second test. But we've been past this since they first came out. We've passed that. A lot of guys with their product cannot pass that. It's an extremely hard test to pass.
Yeah.
And I think some other guys have tried to pass it and haven't done it. Pli-Dek is the most best fire rated system out here. So some of the systems, if they've tried, they're not listed. So you can only find Pli-Dek out there. And just recently, one other guy that's not the big player in the industry, one other guy got his rating as well. But it's a hard test to pass. But the WUI is important. They're gonna enforce it really a lot in the beginning of this next year. If you don't have the WUI, you're not on the job at all. So if the inspectors catch it, they're going to kick them off. But now, in January 1st, it's going to be mandatory. So they're going to have the WUI approval.
With the tragedies that we had here in California, it's good. You got to have it. It is so important to have the right products and installing the right products that are going to keep the building safe. I mean, that's just there's a lot of trees out here. There's a lot of vegetation.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw, people saw it on TV how bad it was. I mean, it was horrific that all these fires. I mean, I have a house up in the mountains and there's like all this, the leaves are turned brown and all of a sudden they make it. If you don't clean your leaves up, we're going to fine you $850 plus $5,000 an hour to clean it up for you.
Wow.
So everybody's fire conscious out here in California, rightfully so, because we've had people lose their lives, and now it's not just fun and games all the time. It's people are dying. So very important to have everything that we put together. When I developed this system, it's durability. It's not going to crack. It's waterproof, number one. And it's fire rated. I mean, we've got to have all these things put together. I can't just roll some stuff out of a bucket and throw some sand in and say, hey, there's your deck. Yeah. And then, 6 months later, there's cracks everywhere. Next thing you know, there's dry rot. So there was a spot in Berkeley, California, that they had concrete on top of the plywood. And that was their finished deck. And they had some kind of waterproofing underneath. Well, they had 6 kids on it from Ireland's kids that went to Cal Berkeley. And it was on like the 5th or 6th floor, and the balcony collapsed.
Oh my!
Because the water was getting underneath the concrete, and it rotted out all the joists and the plywood, so the kids end up dying on it. So they came out with all these new codes that you have to now inspect decks. I think that comes more into play when there's concrete on top, because if there's plywood on top, if something goes wrong, you'll fall through the plywood first.
Right.
But when they have concrete on top, you have to inspect that. So we try to talk people out of it. People did concrete back in the day because it had all the fire ratings.
Right.
So my job is to say, I've got the fire ratings without the concrete.
Right.
So I've for years and years and years, I've got all these architects knowledgeable now on what I can do without doing double layer plywood or concrete on top. So then the latest thing I got called in for was sound control. Oh. So I had these architects call me up and say, you know what, Jan, I got a deck that's over a community area at the clubhouse, and everybody's up there, they're playing, they have tables, and they're having lunch down here, and somebody's up there playing ping pong, and it's screaming, they're walking and stuff. We need a sound control deck. So Pli-Dek, I invented a sound control system that has a sound control, and it's an IIC and STC rating of over 50 on top of our deck. That goes down first, we put our system on top of that, and we've tested and get that approved as well. So we have the only sound-rated system that I know of in America that it doesn't happen all the time, but when it's directly over living space and the guys on top are different than the people on the bottom that don't live in the same place, then you look at a sound control deck. So we have that as well.
It makes so much sense, and even for rooftops, that's awesome.
Yeah. So when you have these roof decks, I mean, if it's your house and your kids are up there running around, you can hear them, maybe that bothers you, you want a sound control, we have that. Yeah. So we give that option. These architects want us, they call me all the time and say, do you have a sound deck? Yes, we do. So we have a sound control system as well.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, what I want to do right now is I want to bring Samantha back. And I want to talk a little bit.
I go over there?
No, you stay right here.
Hey.
You don't get away. No. But what I do want to talk a little bit about is labor. So we have a couple things I want to talk about here. Training, but I want to kind of visit also because you guys are with contractors a lot. We saw those great guys. This product, when it comes to labor savings and ease of installation, and it's just the weight and stuff, talk to us a little bit about how that is good for the crews.
You want Samantha to answer this? You want me to answer this?
I'm going to have you start, and then I'm going to have Samantha come in.
Well, like I said, I mean, everybody gets used to, you have to be trained. So you're bringing up 50-pound bags of polymer cement. You're bringing up 60-pound buckets that you're mixing in. We like to mix on site. Yeah. We don't mix in a big mixer and then carry up ladders with mixing buckets. We load the decks. A lot of times on big jobs, they forklift all the product up here. So the guys don't want to be using all their energy just to load the deck. Right. But it's standard practice. You're going to come up here, they're going to give you, when the superintendent calls you on the job, you're going to have an area that nobody else should be walking on. So you load the decks up and you do them, and you always, I mean, when you're young, it's not that hard to do.
Yeah. Hey,
no,
you're
it's
still
not
doing
as
it.
Oh yeah, it's not as fun. So, yeah.
Samantha, what are you seeing? I mean, I know you're doing a lot of training, you're going out on job sites, you're going into distribution, everything else. What are you seeing with labor and just, because we have a labor shortage, and how they're working with this product to kind of make it fast, easy?
I mean, a lot of contractors, even roofing contractors, are getting into waterproof decking because it's just another avenue for them to go and grow their business and get jobs. And waterproof decking right now there's a lot of work out there. So sometimes contractors won't bid it because they aren't certified applicator, and they'll just either toss it on or sub out the work. So if we get them certified, then that just lets them be able to do the work and bid those jobs that maybe before they weren't going after. Exactly.
So
exactly.
How do they get certified?
Great question, Heidi. Here's how the more details to get certified here with Pli-Dek. You'll want to go to Pli-Dek.com and click Contact Us. And once you open up and you hit Contact Us, there'll be an inquiry form. There's 3 ways to do it. So there's either the inquiry form, there'll be a phone number you can call, or an email that you can email us at. You can do one of those 3 things. Each of those will all lead to our customer care team, and they will direct you to one of our wonderful Pli-Dek reps in your area. We have Pli-Dek reps nationwide. They'll be there to support you to get your training set up, job starts, job walks, anything you need. Here, if you're in, California, you got Jan to do all the job walks and the technical aspects of it. And we have our tech reps all across the nation as well to do that with our sales reps. And
we probably need to point out too, since she couldn't make it, and that Wendy.
Yes, we have a
Wendy.
Wonderful team. Hello, Wendy and Rafa and John. Those are our Pli-Dek team here in Southern California. We have a wonderful group. We're here to get all your training needs. Like Jan said and Heidi mentioned earlier, we have certification trainings. That was one thing I wanted to talk about. We have certification trainings happening all the time, and if there isn't one that's in the books, we will set one up personally just for you. If you really want to get certified and you're like, I have a job coming up, I really need to get certified, we'll come to your place of business, set up a whole training, get you all trained so you're ready for that job. If it's not at your place of business and you're not doing it tailored to you, we also do on-the-job site training, which Jan will also come out along with your local rep and do on-site job training and get you certified that way. And then after these certification trainings, if it's more formal where we're coming to you or we're hosting and you're joining us, at the end of that you will have we have a QR code that you'll scan and sign, and that's how you'll get your Pli-Dek your certificate. And then you'll have your little certificate that says you're a Pli-Dek certified applicator. So that way you can take that and show that to all your jobs and everything.
That's awesome. And your product is spec'd nationwide.
Correct.
So contractors out there, you're going to see this specified, so you're going to want to get certified so you're ready for when those jobs come up.
Definitely. I would say Pli-Dek is probably one of the top spec waterproofing decks out there.
What's important when you are talking to architects is the architects have liability as well. If they're writing some plans and they're putting in the wrong fire codes, or they're putting in the wrong system that's not rated, and then something happens, they have litigation as well. So when architects see what we have as far as all of our testing and all our approvals, they like speccing Pli-Dek because Pli-Dek covers them. It covers them saying, we're doing the right thing. So we work mostly, once we educate all the architects, most of the architects California knows, and so does a lot in Florida and stuff, but once we train them, it's all down to details. How do we flash, this wall or this door, it's tying into a roof over here, or we got something else going on with a trough drain or whatever it might be,
right.
Which we haven't talked about drains, but drains are very, very important. So we don't want a big cast iron drain in this middle sheet of plywood. We want it's a thin membrane drain. I'm going to give a little shout out here to one of my guys that manufactures Thunderbird Products. We spec their drain. So it's a flat drain. It's like flashing on top of the deck with a brass fitting that's soldered. So we lap our lapping over the flat part of the drain,
right.
And it's perfect. I can't have a plastic drain. I can't have a cast iron drain that moves all over the place. On plywood, we need the single membrane drain, which is what Thunderbird Products makes for.
So you work with all of that to make sure those specs are right, and you also work with a lot of consultants.
Yes, I do seminars for architects, consultants, as well as applicators and general contractors like what's out here, every day almost. So
yeah.
Yes, we do for consultants as well. I'm very, very good friends with most of the consultants in California.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Megan, any questions? No. I think we are at the top of our hour. We are coming up on it right now. Jan, Samantha, wow. This goes down in the books. This has been our first live on a job site with work going on all around us, and it's been really fun. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I know.
Thank you all for tuning in.
We love you too.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much. Thank you to ICP and Pli-Dek for bringing us out here to have this great idea, and really thank you, Jan, for finding this job too.
This is a nice job.
Great job.
Nice having you out here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good. Please check out all the information about Pli-Dek on Rivers Coffee Shop and Coatings Coffee Shop. You can find the directory, you can get all the information, you can get the certifications, find out how to get the training, and there's some awesome articles and some great podcasts that we've done with Jan.
That's
so
right.
many other podcasts that are out there. So be sure to check all that out. We will be coming back to you again next month with another Coatings Talk. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube so you don't miss a single episode, and of course on your podcast channel. We'll be seeing you next month. Have a great day.